Hello and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, the Norwegian campaign. And it seems we get a new war with the Byzantine Empire. I'm certainly not going to pay them off. Well, I mean, I could afford to, but why would I not want a war in a war game? Ah, oh yeah, they were allied to the British, so I guess I'm getting more of a war than I bargained for. Maybe. They had a lot of allies, but that just means more fights, and that's fine. But first, we're gonna design some ships, and this will be a ship design episode first and foremost, because we got some new technology. So I'm now at war with Britain, France, China, and the Byzantine Empire. So we're gonna see how that plays out. The Byzantines probably won't be too hard to deal with. They got a somewhat okay sized navy. French and Britain, Britain seems like they've scrapped a bunch of ships recently. Probably because they're building new ones. How about China? They got some ships, but they're also very far away. That's going to be something to send my battle cruisers out to handle. But anyway, ship design. Yeah, I just got the all or nothing armor scheme, which plays nicely with some of the new cruiser hulls I have. So let's build some cruisers. So we got modern heavy cruiser 2 and 1. I think this hull looks better. There's not that much of a difference between them. Heavy Cruiser 1 has better hull form. Not as high optimal speed, but a little bit lower resistance. I think we're gonna go for this one though. Let's see, 32 knots. And what kind of towers do we have? Oh, we just have the default towers. Okay. How about this one? What kind of towers do we have here? Also just the default towers. Well, how about this one then? It actually has higher resistance. And it can still do 32 knots. So we're gonna build on this one instead. And it's got a better selection of towers. The biggest one doesn't fit. The middle one fits. Let's see, like so. Can I actually put that funnel here? No. No. I can put it here though. And then have another advanced angled funnel. Next to it like so. That looks neat. And how far back can I push this tower now? Like so. Are there other towers that... No, they all look more or less the same. This one would be neat, but it's if I make it a little bit wider. How much wider does it have to be for this tower to fit? Like so. And now just let's slim it down as much as possible. 5.5. Alright, that works. That's because I think it looks nicer when the funnel is up to the main tower. Gonna have to move everything slightly further aft though. Yeah, there we go. That's nicer. We're gonna go oil 1 and gear turbines 2. As for main guns, could go with 11s. It's not a nice looking turret though. Or triple 10s. Yeah, I think those turrets look nicer. Slight aft weight offset. Don't worry too much about that. In fact, I'm gonna... It's 0.1. It doesn't matter. It makes literally no difference. Let's see. Balanced boilers should reduce maintenance cost. They do. By quite a bit. And increase my range. Let's up the bulkheads. These are quite expensive, so I need them to not die all the time. Let's see, some anti-torp, triple bottom, and Citadel V, my newest invention. Actually increased HE on the secondaries. Now, let's take a look at the flash fire chance. 8.9% with cordite 2. 2 powder 1, it's 0.7. Cordite 3 is 3.3. 4.1 with increased ammunition. That's not too bad. I can live with that. And it does give me more range than tube powder. 14.9 versus 13.5. It's not that big of a difference, actually. Not that big of a difference, no. Okay, I can further reduce the flash fire chance by going electro-hydro. Let's go coincidence, RDF. Okay, we're a bit close to the maximum displacement though, so something will probably have to be reduced here somewhere. Because I need to put some armor on this. Let's see, armor quality is now up to 150%. Deck penetration, not that bad. I do want some deck armor though, because it might get shot at by battleships. And this time, I think I will actually try and make use of those inner layers, because now I've got the third one. And I know that dip actually greatly reduces how much damage you take from partial pens. I can reduce the fore and aft decks. Okay, we're close to the maximum now. And I haven't even armored my barbettes yet, so yeah, something has to be reduced here somewhere. I gotta figure out what. But I'm not sure. Well, I don't have any ships that go 32 knots. So 30 will probably have to do. Okay. Inner deck, I don't care too much about that. I think my deck armor is plenty good. Or should I go with actually, how much? 0.4. So you would need 4 inches of deck penetration to go through that. And you would need 2 inches of deck penetration to go through that. So that's not too bad. Yeah, that works. And that does save me some weight. And you would need 19 inches of belt penetration to go through 1.9 inches of third inner belt. So now we're actually saving some weight here. 15 inches of pen needed to go through. Which means I can probably reduce the main belt down to 5. Now that means I will take partial pens when enemy shells go through this, but not through this. But partial pens shouldn't do too much. Not in dip. Okay, 45 calibers, so I think 12 to make them 50s. Yeah, there we go. That is nice. I might bump them down to base length again if I start running out of displacement for secondaries. Like I just did. Okay, 5.9s. Not really too happy. But that works. This 5.9 inches is 150 millimeters. These are 55 calibers in length. Now we're overweight again though, but there we go. And a smattering of 2-inch secondaries. Put a single one there. Alright, that's not too bad for an armored cruiser. bit overweight still, but you can find ways to reduce that, I think. What to reduce though? I don't want to drop the range much further. If I make it turbo electric, does that make it lighter? No, it makes it significantly heavier and more expensive. Auxiliary 1. It gives me worse ship repairs and everything. Not a huge difference in weight here. Yeah, let's keep them electro-hydro. Less flash fire chance than with just electrical. I just wish the range and crew quarter slider had more positions. Like it's either cramped, standard, or spacious. Same with the range. If it was actually a slider and just not a couple of preset positions, that would be nice. Yeah, I think I can. No, that doesn't really make a big weight difference, does it? But there we go. That works. Yeah. That's alright, I think. New heavy cruiser class. Okay. Now let's go for a light cruiser as well. And we got a couple of new hulls here. The scout cruiser I built the Brage class on, they're gone. I've got modern light cruiser 2 and 1, modernized cruiser, and light cruiser 5. Light cruiser 5 looks kind of funky. 35 resistance. Modern light cruiser 1, very fragile, but good top speed. I guess I can build some light cruiser 5s, just as okay, 7,000 tons as the least displacement I can give them. Not so much as fleet light cruisers, but just to stick in tiny ports. To do that, yeah, they need to be kind of tiny. So let's try and build this somewhat on the cheap. I'll go for the tower that is not very expensive. It does fit tucked all the way back there. That is good. Okay, so these are all like the triangular towers. Let's do that one. Tiniest one. Funnel. Like so. It kind of works. And oil. I might keep just the regular turbine engines for this. Let's see, 85 million and 3.3 maintenance, 48 million and 1.9 maintenance. And balanced boilers. Not bad. It's gonna be more than this though. But first, let's add some guns. These 6-inch turrets are kind of tiny. They look almost underscaled. Mark IV, yeah. But I mean, they're pretty good for 6-inch guns. Let's see. Yeah, as far back as I could get it. Oh, you don't fit up here. Well then. We're using the slightly bigger version. It is centered. Yeah, maybe I've got it too close to the tower there. There we go. Now it works. And then torpedo launchers on the back here. Two quads should be enough. They don't really fit anywhere here. How about 2-inch guns? I could stick some here. I don't know, like built-in placements. Casemates? There we go. Yeah. Decent. Decent enough. I could probably have, instead of 2 guns there. Okay, it won't let me fit a barbette on top of this. Not center line anyway. There we go. After some fiddling, I was able to make it fit. One center line there. And 2 on either side here. There we go. Some kind of secondary armament. Alright. Let's build the rest of the ship. I got like 2,000 tons to play with. And I do want Citadel 5 though, because that will be relevant for the armoring scheme. But other than that, I'm gonna try and keep this on the cheap. Standard ratio and increased HE. Now for the main guns. I could go high pen, rely on AP to sink other cruisers and HE for the light cruisers, or you can go the other way around. Incendiary for bigger ships and semi-AP for DDs. I'm not sure if incendiary actually works well though in dip, because of how the fire chance and partial pen things have been nerfed. That might not be a good idea. But I want to see if it works. Let's embiggen the torpedoes a bit. 12.2 kilometer range, that is fine. It does need hydro and RDF though. Can't really skimp on that. Now the guns. Let's make them 6.1 or 155 millimeters. Didn't really make the gun models any bigger though. If I make them 6.9s, they don't look so small anymore. So I'm gonna make them 6.9s just for that, just because they look too small. Now let's go for a uniform 3-inch. For an aft belt. And again, let's see. Yeah, you would need 2 inches of penetration to go through that. And you'd need 1 inch of deck penetration to go through that, actually. So that's not too bad. Even at minimum. Gives me more protection than the actual main deck. So I get 1 inch of deck protection for a combined 0.8 inches of weight. Or 2 inches of deck protection for a combined 1.2 inches of weight. I think that's a better trade. Or is it? Yeah, let's keep it like that. If it starts taking fire from anything that can pen 1 inch of deck armor, it's probably dead already. For the belt, you would need 10 inches of belt pen to go through that, and that's pretty good for a light cruiser. That's actually really good for a light cruiser. Alright, and I still have some weight to spare. Casemate armor. Sure, good enough. These are 55s. These are 65s. That's impressive. Can I make these 55s as well? I mean, sure enough. It lowers the rate of fire a bit, but they can reach out further. And oh yeah, ammunition. How bad is my flash fire chance with picric acid? 3.3. That's not too bad. So 99 million cost, 3.8 a month for maintenance. Turbo electrics, that would be 4.8 a month. Twice as expensive. Yeah, we're keeping the basic turbines. Yeah, that's a budget light cruiser. Iran, which means robbery, and I don't really feel robbed with this. It's a decent ship for the for what it costs. And it's twice the cost of a DD, but a lot more firepower. Anyway, I need some actual fleet light cruisers as well. And one thing I'm going to be looking at here is the torpedo spotting range. 12,000 tons for a light cruiser is quite a bit. 35 knot. Top speed. I can reduce the beam by 3.5. Let's see, what kind of towers do we have? Yeah, because light cruisers, they can use hydroacoustic or sonar. I don't have sonar yet. Which I cannot put on my capital ships. I can put it on DDs, but their torpedo spotting is so bad to begin with that we don't really get much out of it. This is already becoming quite a bit more expensive than the previous one. There's a lot of different funnels here. I'd rather go with 2 singles than 1 double. Turbo angled funnel. Let's go on enhanced angled funnel back here. Cannot go further forwards. And that rear tower had like a very specific little spot where it could fit. Okay, yeah, that fits. That works. That works. Alright. Torstein. What are we looking at for torpedo spotting here? Torpedo detection, 1160. 1914 meters. That's still not great though. Plus 80 torpedo spotting, plus 52 torpedo spotting. It's not amazing torpedo spotting on this. My 7-inch guns are still only Mark III. I guess we're going with the 6s. Even though they look comically small on a cruiser of this size. Nah, we're going with the 7s and just giving the classic quick refit once they are in service. Do I want to go with more guns though? I mean, I guess I could. Can I fit a 7 on that one? I can. So doing this kind of based on looks, just because the 6-inch turrets were too tiny. That's a lot of 7-inch firepower. Alright, secondary guns. Let's put some along the flanks here as well. I thought these were spots for 2-inch guns. Little platforms on the funnel, but I guess not. That's a lot of DACA. Torpedo tubes? I can move these 3-inch turrets around a bit and see where they fit after I've placed down the torpedoes. I'm trying to have them like in line, but yeah, the launchers are not quite symmetrical. But I think that's good enough. Alright. Rest of the ship. What can we do? 400 million for light cruiser. I think maybe we are reducing that speed a bit, because we're paying a lot for it. And the temptation here is that when paying this much for a light cruiser, I just feel like it has to be made better, in a way. We're going incendiary and semi-ballistic again. No, actually, no. Because these 7-inch guns are a bit more potent than the 6-inch guns. Can make them 7.5s maybe. I'm going Cordite 3 and TNT 3. How's my flash fire? 2.8%. Not too shabby. 2.9. 24-inch torpedoes, they fit. They still fit. I'm gonna move them a bit further aft, actually. I can fit some more 3-inch guns. Like here. Alright. Still have some weight to play with. And of course, these are going to be refit to Mark IVs in due time, which will make them just flat out better. As for the main belt, let's go 5. 5 is the maximum. Okay, let's go a uniform 3-inch belt. Let's do kind of the same as we did on the other light cruiser. That's equivalent of 1 inch of deck armor. Hang on. Need armor here too. And 10 inches of belt armor. Which is very good protection actually for a light cruiser. So I'm quote unquote paying for what's that gonna be, 6.7 inches of main belt weight, but I'm getting 10. And similar here, paying for 0.9 inches of deck armor weight, but I'm getting 10. I'm gonna reduce the actual main deck. There's no point. And this is doing the job anyway. There we go. It's actually decent protection. Doesn't look like it, but it is. Or it should be. If dip does indeed decrease the damage taken from partial pins as much as I think it does. And it's kind of the point of the mod, isn't it? Let's save that design. Torstein. Alright, but there's more. Actually, I just realized that the modernized cruiser can be made quite a bit smaller than Light Cruiser 5. Not very fast though, but still. And it is very tough. So I think this might be the one to keep in tiny ports around the Empire, if it can even be built though. It seems like there's gonna be difficult to fit funnels in this. 59 funnel cap. That's huge. I thought maybe they would fit in between the main tower here. These funnels. Do I need the biggest tower? I guess I do. Okay, it's gonna move the funnel along with it. There we go. That's kind of a tiny little patrol ship. Let's go semi-oil. Let's keep this really cheap. It doesn't actually need 2 funnels, but I gave it 2 anyway. If I reduce the beam a little bit, does it still work? Yeah, it does. That's a lot of engine efficiency. Yeah, we're going with 1. Stop moving the funnel along with the tower, please. And there we go. I mean, it's a patrol gunboat, basically. It doesn't need a huge amount of range, because it's just gonna stay in port and get like convoy defense missions and such. It does need to be affordable though. And that fits there. I just like the look of these barbettes. Can I go 7s on this? Yes, I can. Torpedo launchers. Also, someone asked if torpedo launchers could fit on barbettes. Normally, no. But maybe that's a... no. Not these barbettes either. No. So no. That has not been added in the mod. And I'm not sure if that would be possible to add either. It's gonna give it a little bit more bulkheads. Secondary guns, these triple 3-inch guns are pretty neat, because they've got some pretty impressive range. Not really a lot of places to fit the 2-inch guns. Alright. I don't think I can keep it under 50, but I'm pretty sure I can keep it under 100. Which would be good enough. Gonna go with this again. Last chance, not too bad. Increase the barbette protection even. 2% flash fire chance. Really not bad. Gonna torpedo detection range 1378. It's not that good. So once again it falls short of being good at detecting torpedoes. And there we go, decent 7-inch guns, 7.5s. Should be able to deal with most enemy light cruisers, which is really all that it should have to do. And I'm doing the same on the on deck here. Nope. Okay, 7.5 then. I was gonna put 7, but it's equal to 13. That's pretty good. That is battlecruiser level of armor protection, which does cover most of the ship. So that's pretty neat. Bit of displacement to spare. I can up the range. I'm gonna stick with cramped quarters. because it doesn't have that many like things sticking out of it that can cause a lot of crew loss. 89 million. 3.5 maintenance cost. That's not bad. If I go down to oil 1, that's actually better, yeah. Used to be that semi-oil was a way to just save a lot of money. But oil 1 barely makes my ship cost more, and it reduces the maintenance by, well, not a whole lot, but like 100,000. Or did I look at it wrong? Yeah, no I didn't. It's not as nice as the other, but it's lighter. It can fit into more ports. So it's worth it just for that. Now destroyers, I've got new destroyer hulls as well. Modern destroyer standard. Let's see what we can do with you. It's got 2,000 ton displacement. Let's just start off by reducing the beam and draft. Then bring you up to 2,400, maybe? It's a bit longer, yeah. Go straight for oil and geared turbines too. Max optimal speed is 36 knots. I'm gonna see if we can make that. Already we're being very expensive here. Good tower spotting on these towers. It's a huge rare tower. On this one I want both guns and torpedoes to be like pretty good. Okay, I need a different secondary tower. Something a bit smaller. Everything fits, yeah. Balanced boilers. Range is okay. Three twin 5-inch guns. That's decent firepower. Especially when you got decent like tower stats as well. Now torpedoes though. Might be able to fit this fourth gun down here somewhere. Space them out a little bit because well, they're gonna grow. $220 million. Increased HE, incendiary, and semi-ballistic is fine. Oh, we're closing in on that weight limit now. .24-inch torpedoes. I want them to have decent angles. Because I can't move them too far forwards. A bit overweight. A bit overweight. How's our torpedo spotting on these? Almost 2,000 meters. It's not terrible. Let's give them some belt armor. Okay. So that is that. Let's make those guns 50 calibers in length. Okay, so we're 174 tons overweight. I don't really feel like reducing the range, because then it can't keep up with battle cruisers and such. I don't feel like reducing the speed, because then they become very easy targets. So 134 tons overweight. $105 tons overweight. We're saving weight by reducing the beam. And go with double bottom. Now only 46 tons overweight. And there we go. That's more like it. Then go with triple? No. Yeah, that's good enough. That is good enough. New fleet destroyer. Kind of expensive, actually, compared to the Valkyrie. And that's a gunboat DD. Yeah, Berserker has same torpedo armament, but you can get 4 of those for the cost of 1 of these. Berserker does not have the guns though of this one, so maybe I can build 1 squadron of these, but that's probably it for that class, the Draug. Like 200 million DD is fine when you've got oxygen torpedoes, because then you can kind of keep them safe. Oh, I didn't mean to. I was gonna adjust the displacement, but fine. I guess it is the 500 class of gunboats or guard ships. That's I guess not a terrible name. That tower doesn't fit. But the problem with these kind of boats is that they are still classed as destroyers. So the game might decide to throw one into a battle as if it were a DD. That's the smallest funnel I picked, right? Yeah, let's just pick the smallest one. And then you got these things mixed in with your actual DDs, being 10 knots slower, and just overall not very good. Even the tiny barbette looks huge on this. 4-inch, biggest we can get. Yeah, a couple of 4-inch guns, and can even fit a quad launcher back here. $4 million. Can I keep it under 5? That's the question now. 24-inch torpedoes, they still fit on this thing. That's kind of wild. It's a very overgunned guard ship, I would say. Let's go Parkric acid. And coincidence. I mean, it's not too bad, is it? So I'll give it a little bit of armor too. Yeah, I mean that ought to keep some ports safe. Maybe. Can I make it faster, actually? No. So, 442 tons. 5.7 million price tag. It's gonna cost me 200,000 a month. That's not too bad, is it? It's actually pretty decent. But compare that to the Flamberger class that I still have quite a few of. They are a little bit more expensive, but they are much faster, and they got more torpedo tubes. So these are actually still usable, and they're going to keep being usable as long as I refit them and make the torpedoes better. These things, maybe not so much, but at that cost, I can build some of them, spread them around. Now, because we're about to go to war with Britain, I need my flagship to be a little bit better. I was going to wait with refitting it until I have the Mark III 17-inch guns. That's going to take a while. In the meantime, just giving it a refit so that these triple turrets are at least advanced triple turrets, that alone is going to be quite useful. Let's see, Citadel V. That makes me a bit overweight. Yes. What is now my flash fire chance? 4%. I don't want to fiddle around too much with the armor here. Or maybe actually I do on the main deck. That could potentially save me a lot of weight. It's equal to 8 inches. It had 3. No, it had 4. So that's equal to 6. Yeah, that's equal to 6. That's pretty nice, actually. So let's just hope that it works as it should work. Better barbette protection is nice. Now what else? Any marks I can upgrade here? Yeah, 6-inch guns. So they are now better. In fact, I wonder if it might be a good idea to remove these 8-inch guns and replace them with 6s. Because they got the same range. And they're both here to just take care of DDs and the like. So that's still a 3-month refit. That's not bad. I think I like the look of that better. If we got an almost uniform secondary gun battery. Well, apart from this little guy here, though, he's kind of special. Anyway, some of that weight saved can be put back into upping the main deck protection. Seven. Oh, I'm so close. Yeah, 7. That's good enough. And that leaves me with a little bit of weight for future refits. 3-month refit? Yeah. We can make that happen. I just wish I had the Mark III guns for this. That would make them so much better. But for now, it is what it is. Now, with Donnebrook being refit, I still have a 150,000 tons of shipyard capacity to play with. So we're gonna build some ships here. Heimdall can build a squadron of you guys. And I need to figure out where to put them. Ran. You can build some of you guys as well. Let's just let's stick with 2 for now. Torstein, that's the actual like fleet escort light cruiser. A bit on the pricey side, for sure, but yeah. And then the Ragnar. That's the tiny one. Hang on, where do I have tiny ports? These are actually too tiny. Belawan and Patang. Varna. I need something there. Some of these ports are just too tiny. I'm gonna build 2 and then just figure out where to put them. Draug class destroyers. I honestly just think they ended up being too expensive for what they are, and I would rather just build something more like the Berserker. Build more of these, because they do the same thing, just for far less money. These, though, I mean, they're basically free. And they can actually go into those very, very tiny ports. Galapagos Islands, yes, you are going there. And Belawan, you are going there. $501, $502, $503, $504. That's the 500 series of guard ships. They don't even get names. Now with that, I'm ending this episode, and next time we are definitely gonna fight something. Need to figure out what and where, and with what. The Brits have a lot of stuff here that I can take. That's for sure. I think even taking northern Brazil shouldn't be too hard. Like, we're not talking a lot of port capacity here, and that's what the required invasion tonnage is based off of. The port capacity. France. Does France have a lot of stuff I can take? I mean, Britain even has this. Lyric. Do you have a lot of stuff, France? I mean, I took most of what they had that was relevant. So I think the goal is let's see, China and France. I just want to beat them quickly, make them surrender, and give me money. Britain, I want to take some stuff from them, and the Byzantines. I might want to take stuff around the Black Sea, because I'm in here already. Yeah, I think that's the plan. Goodbye, and take care.